Hello everyone, welcome once again. I'm Joshua and this is Rooftop App. In today's live session, we shall be learning about something very special. And along with something very special, we have these two lovely special ladies. So, you must be wondering, where are these ladies from? So, this drawing you can find on our newly released Cheriyal Essentials art book. So, let me tell you something more about this art book. So, the Artventures of Cheriyal Essentials art book is perfect for beginners who are wanting to know more about the Cheriyal art culture. So, this book will provide a solid foundation in Cheriyal art. So, this book covers all the designs and motifs, helping you grasp the basics and progress to more complex compositions with ease. This book also has a lot of designs, a lot of different artworks. So let's have a look at what the book has to offer. Okay, so if you look at the cover of the book, we get introduced with a lovely hardcover, and as we get into the book, you can see we have a lot of Cheriyal art illustrations as well. So the more we get into the book, we can see in the index, we get to see the different topics that the book would cover. So we have a topic about the artist, about the inspiration, the different Cheriyal styles and patterns. So let's move on and see what else this book has to offer. So over here we have a brief introduction about us at Rooftop, and then we have a brief description about the Artventures of Cheriyal, about this book. And as we move forward, we can see the different color palettes that the art form has to offer, about the materials that they used, about the history of Cheriyal art. And then in this book we can see the Cheriyal artists that live today, the ones that carry on the tradition. So we have a whole family tree over here along with the pictures and signatures of the artists. So let's move on to the visual inspirations. So these are some of the Cheriyal paintings that are there today. So this book covers up a lot of the old Cheriyal art pieces and the current ones that are being made by the current family. So the Cheriyal art, if you go to see, or the roots of Cheriyal art, they can be traced back to the early 16th century. So over here we have works that we could practice. So we have the Cheriyal borders, where we have the design on top, and we have space to try the design by ourselves, experiment with the colors, with the design, and then we have the patterns as well over here. So we have a couple of pages that show us about the Cheriyal patterns, and we have a workspace to practice it ourselves as well. Now let's move on to the motifs. So these motifs in the Cheriyal art, they were inspired by their village. So most of these come from inspiration from their village, from their folklore, from their culture, so on and so forth. And then when we come to the creative explorations, we can see different drawings over here. So if you look at this one's a half complete drawing. Why is that, you may ask? Because this book not only gives you information about the Cheriyal art forms, but it helps you practice with it as well. So over here we can see the different drawings that are there that we could use to learn or to study, and especially for beginners, this book is wonderful. So here we have some more artworks that are there. Okay, so now what we can do is we can try recreating one of their works. So what we can do is, if at all you do have the book, you can have a look at page 56 of the Artventures of Cheriyal Essentials. So we'll be recreating this drawing. So before I move on with that, I would like to show some of the artworks that we have from the village. So if you look at these are Cheriyal masks. These are made by the family themselves. These are masks that have been carried on for traditions. And along with this mask, they create artworks on wooden plates as well. So these are entirely hand painted, authentic Cheriyal art pieces that we've brought just to show you all. So now we can move forward and start with creating one of these artworks. Okay. So I'll be recreating the two lovely women we have just seen. So when we start creating these works, if you've noticed that they have a very lovely, a very intricate border. So what we can do is we can start by creating a border for them. We can start by giving it an outline right here. We can keep the thickness of the border at around 1.5 centimeters. So around this much. Okay. And over here as well. So the folk art form of the Cheriyals, they were predominantly created by the residents of the Cheriyal village belonging to the Siddipet district of Telangana. So this is a painting tradition which has rounded human figures and other activities of the village. So what they have done is they try to capture their everyday life, or maybe certain stories that they have. Okay. So now what we can do is we can start by painting the lovely ladies. Okay, so we can start with the one on the left. We can have the head, say, about here. And then we can go for the nose, just like that. And we can come to the mouth over here. You can add a bit of the hair. Maybe earring here. You can have the head there. You can draw the chin over here. So if you look at the Cheriyal paintings that are there, so these paintings were mainly done on scrolls. So these scrolls were used to tell stories, and then they had their mask and then plate, and then they've expanded from there. So over here we can draw the ears. We can draw the back of the head, and then the hair over here. So over here, alright. Then we can move on to the jewelry that is there. So you'll notice a lot of the women and the men in these paintings, they happen to wear a lot of jewelry around them. So you could see that these are some key aspects of the Cheriyal artwork that we get to see, or some key features of these type of paintings. They tell us about the story, they tell us about the culture and the tradition, and in some cases they can tell us about how they lived their day-to-day life. Okay, we can finish off this jewelry here, and then we can start with the left hand right about there. And then we can work from top to bottom. We can start with the hair and then move on to the face and then move on to the body. You can have this here. And we can start drawing the arms. Oh, I almost forgot the eyes. Let's do the eyes right over here. So this art form, they tend to draw people in a very two-dimensional manner. They have a lot of side views, or they mostly focus on the side views. Okay. Then we can draw this hand over here, into the bangles as well. Once again, there's a lot of jewelry in this style of painting. We can draw this hand here. All right. Okay, and we can move on to the body, just like that. All right. I hope whoever's watching this at home is joining me in this art workshop. If you have any questions, you can drop your questions in the comment and I will try to answer it to the best of my abilities. Okay. Over here, and then we can add the drapery. And this over here, and bring this down like that. And then we can finish off with the outfit over here. All right. So now in this image, you will see these women are carrying some sort of load over here. It could be something from their village, or it could be maybe like an event as well. So these paintings tend to tell us stories or events of the people in Cheriyal village. Have that there, have this here. And there. Okay. And alright, we can start with the head here. Just like that. We can do the mouth. Now these paintings, they don't focus a lot on realism. These are more of illustrations. We can do the eyes over here. And if you look at the eyes also in this type of style, they have, or in the drawings, they have relatively big eyes with a very long lash. just like that. Okay, then we can add her earrings over here, and then the back of her head. Okay, and we can start again with the jewelry. Right about there. And then we can add in the hand. So those of you at home who have the book, there will be a page right beside this reference where you can recreate this drawing. And for those who may not have this book, if you are interested in learning more about the Cheriyal art or their culture and drawing style, you can visit our website, Rooftop App, or our application as well, where you'll get more information on these books. So here I can draw the hand. Okay. So if you notice, one thing about the style is the head, the hair, the arms, they have very fluid, very rounded lines. The style of painting tends to have very long, smooth, and rounded lines. And the hands as well are super simplified. So there's not much worry, when you're trying to draw these paintings, when you're trying to replicate them yourselves. It's a lot easier on the hand. And here we can add the drapery. Just like that. And then here you can draw the legs, and then add the drapery just like that. And over here. Okay, so what we can do now is we can start with the painting. Okay, so I have my colors over here, and we can start off with the border. So if you look at the reference, the border is yellow in color. So I'll take my yellow color, but it's not like pure yellow. It is a slightly orangish yellow. So I'll take my yellow color, put it down here. And then I'll take a little bit of red. Just take a dot of red. I won't take too much. Just a little bit, enough to change the color of this just to darken this yellow a bit. That should be good enough. Now we can start painting the borders or the frame. Because nowadays we get, a lot of photo frames of different kinds and different designs. But back then, what they used to do is they used to draw their frames to give the illusion of, a three-dimensional or a wooden frame that we have now. So we can add this part over here as well. So the borders also, they tend to have designs on it. But if you look at what I'm doing right now is I haven't drawn anything, or I haven't sketched any of the designs out. And one of the reason being that is before they drew any of the designs, they used to give a very flat color to the frame or to the borders, and then over that they used to paint it. And back then they did not have, the way we have commercialized paints or different pigments or different brands. Back then it was made entirely with raw materials or materials that you would find in nature. Okay. So we are just about done with filling this border in. And when you're trying to give an outline to the border, we can try giving it long strokes, because what this will do is this will make sure our lines are straight. So we'll try not going too slow like this. We'll try giving a nice, strong, confident stroke. So these lines, whether it's painting or drawing, whenever you do it in like a quick, relatively quick, long stroke, these are known as confident lines. So if you see the way I'm painting right now, I'm giving it long strokes from the center and then I'm slowly coming to the outside. Because what this does is it gives me room to make adjustments. If I immediately start from the line itself, then what can happen is I might just pull the brush towards the main painting, and I do not want that to happen. I want whatever color I'm applying right now to stay in the border. So I'll take a little bit more yellow. And then I will add it to the frame. Just like that. Okay. Now what we can do is we can move forward to painting the background. So before we add in the details for the border, we'll try to fill in as much color as we can. So we'll start off with the big things and finish it off with the smaller details. Just like that. Okay. Now I'll take my blue color and I will add some to this part here. Just like that. And then I can take some white. Let me just remove the paint. So before you take any other color from the bottle, let's it's better to clean your brush, especially with colors like white and yellow. These colors are very sensitive to the others. So if you add even a dot or a very small drop of any other color to white or yellow, the entire color of white can change. Then I'll clean it with my cloth. As you can see, there's a lot of paint still left, so we'll wash it up again. Just like that. And then I'll take my white color. I'll take my white in a separate one. Then I can add how much ever blue I need to it. Since blue is a strong color as well, if we add, say, less white to it, then we would have to keep adding and adding. But it would be more preferable to add blue to white rather than white to blue. So I'll take some water as well and I'll mix it up. Just like this. Now I feel like I can make it a little more darker. So I'll take a little more blue and mix it to this. That way this will give me more control over the type of color I want. That should be a good color. Okay, we can test it out over here. I think maybe we can add a bit more blue. We don't have to worry about this color getting dry, because when it comes to acrylic paints, you can always cover up whatever paint is below it. That should be okay. So now whenever I'm drawing straight lines, what I'd like to do is I prefer holding my breath when I'm drawing a straight line, because then what that will do is it will reduce your chance of your line becoming wavy, like this. Just like that. Perfect. So before I paint into the center of it, I like to fill out the edges first, because then that way I won't need to be, extra careful of where I'm painting, or if I paint in a place that I do not want paint to be in. Just like that. Then when I pick paint with my brush, I'd like to remove a bit of the excess paint and then continue doing my outline. Just like that. So you can be a little careful over here, because the color of the skin that we are going to add is going to be light. So it is easier with acrylics to cover light areas with dark colors, but not dark areas with light colors. You can cover it up, but it will take some time. Just like that. Can mix a bit of water into this. Just like that. And then we can finish off with this outline over here. Just be careful when doing this area. Just like that. Okay, perfect. Now what we can do is now we can relax a bit. No, relax and then just fill this area in. Now we have nothing to worry about. Just like that. And make sure you're spreading your paint properly so that it dries out equally. Just like this. And continue filling the background. So now the background also is relatively simple in this image. We have a nice flat blue color for the background. Just like that. Now we can finish off this area here. So what we'll do is whenever we take a color, say if I take blue, and there is blue not only in the sky but in some other place of the painting, I'll try to finish out wherever blue is there first and then move on to the next color. Rather than doing parts of the painting, I would do parts of the colors that are there. Okay. Now I can move on to this side. Again, start with the corners. Just like that. Now since this is a small area already, I'm just filling it up as I go. Just like that. Again, for the outline, I will start from the center and then slowly bring it outwards. And I feel like my paint is getting dry, so I'll pick up paint again, and from the center I'll start taking it outwards, just like that. There you go. And then we have some blue over here as well. We'll try doing it in one long stroke. If it doesn't work first try, that's okay. But the more you practice, the better it will get. Yeah. There you go. Okay. And then we have just two more spots left. We have it over here. And then we can come down slowly on the edge. Just like that. You can do this edge as well. I think what I'll do is I'll do the outline for this area so that I can finish everything off, much quicker. And then we can bring this part here. You can add a bit of water to it if we feel our paint is a little dry. Just like that. And now we can fill up the blank spaces that are there. Makes your work much easier. Just like this. There you go. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we can move on to the red color. So for this lady here, we can start painting her sari. So I'll take my red and put my red here. Okay, I'll put my red here. And we can take a little more. Okay. So now the sari is red, but it is slightly towards orange, so it's slightly lighter. So what I'll do is I'll take this red and I'll clean my brush just like that. Wet it a bit, and I'll take a bit of yellow as well, and then I'll mix it into this red. So while it is still red, it is a bit towards the orange side. It's not pure red. Okay, now we can start painting this area here. And you can put a little bit more water. You don't add too much water. You can hold your breath when you're filling in, small details. It will let you have a much cleaner line or a much more stable hand. Okay, now this area as well. We'll try to do it in one stroke. And over here, you must be seeing I have drawn over here for the drapery, but I'm covering it up entirely. That is because the drapery that is there, we will be painting that once we're done giving the background a solid color. Just like this. And if you're lucky enough, you can see the drawing below the paint as well. coming back to the painting, we can finish off wherever red is needed. Just like that. Okay, so this red, okay, we can cover that up later. We'll finish with the rest. And then over here as well. We can take more red. You can always mix water or add a bit more paint in case you're running low on paint while you paint. Okay, so I'll keep a little bit of gap over here so that I can know where I can do the outline. Okay, so we can add red here as well. So now wherever red is needed, I'm going to add red over there. There you go. And then here as well. Okay, we can move back to the yellow because there seems to be a lot of yellow that we could add over here. So in certain areas where I feel I may need to draw again, we can always do that. So over here, I'll add this, bring it up here, add this area here, and then yellow will come there. Okay, so I'll take my yellow again. I'll take some clean water now. Since yellow is a very sensitive or a very bright color, any sort of change or any external color will easily affect it. I'll take this yellow and I'll bring it here. It's one done there. Then I can do it here as well. Don't worry if the drawing is visible below the painting. We'll be outlining it with black towards the end, so that will be covered up. Just like that. Over here we can paint yellow as well. So for this painting, we are using acrylic paints. Because with acrylic paints, one of the reasons why I've chosen acrylic paints is because acrylic paints give a very strong or a very flat color. It covers up the entire canvas, so your entire paper. It doesn't let the paper be seen from below. So for this painting, or for most of our paintings, we'll be using acrylic paints. But if you want to use watercolors, or if you want to use any other sort of paints, or even color pencils, as a matter of fact, you can always feel free to use that. As long as we're learning about the style of art, it doesn't matter what paint we use. Like we can add yellow there, and then we can add yellow here as well. Okay, what I can do is I can take this yellow, mix it in a bit, and finish the jewelry of the other lady as well, or of both the ladies. We can do their jewelry here, and then the design for the sari as well. We can add this yellow here. You can try giving it a long stroke, just like that. Okay, and here as well, a long stroke. In one flow, we'll try to get it in one flow. And then here also, we can add yellow here for the drapery. And we can add another stroke here, and then here, and then here, and here. For this edge of the sari as well, we can add this yellow right there. And then for the corner of the sari also, just like that. So by doing this method, where when we're using a certain color, we fill up all the other areas, it helps us not just save time, but it helps us understand the painting as a whole, or what the painting is going to look like. So you can put this here as well, and then here also, just like that. And for the bangles, we can add some yellow here. So you want to make sure that your paint is dry before you put your finger down, otherwise your paint will spread. And here as well. Okay, and then we can add a bit here. What I can do is I can darken this yellow a bit by adding red to it, and paint this area here. So it gives it a nice yellow ochre, or like a cheddar yellow. Just like that. Okay, so do we need yellow anywhere else? Okay, those we can add later. Now what I'll do is I will create green color. So now we have this red, blue, yellow, black and white. So if I want to make green, what colors would I mix to get green? Let me know in the comments. I want to see who gets it right. So one of the colors to get green would be yellow. So I'll take my yellow here and I'll put it down there. And then I'll take blue color and I will mix it in with this yellow. So now I want the yellow to be, the green to be a little dark. So I'll first try to get it as dark as I can with mixing blue and yellow. And if I add too much blue also, the green would start turning more towards blue. So I think this dark should be enough. But now here's a trick. If I want to darken green, what color I could use besides black is red. So when I take this red color, take a little bit here and mix it with the green, it will start getting darker. So you will get more of a sap green kind of color. We don't want to add too much of red, otherwise it would dull out the color. Just enough that it darkens it. Okay, now I'll add a bit of water to get the right consistency. Okay, now we can start with the sari here. I feel like it's a bit too dry, so I'll add a bit of water and mix it up. There you go, that's good. Now to get these clean lines, we would need to try doing it in one quick but gentle stroke. Just like this. We'll try to have long strokes when we paint. Just like that. And then we can do this area here. So if there's any mistake that we have made with the blue color, we can just correct it by giving a green outline. And then here we can add this green. Over here, and again give it an outline as such. Just like that. You can mix a bit of water so that we can spread this green a lot more evenly and easily. There you go. You can paint a bit of the green here. Let's try to make sure that it doesn't disturb the frame, it doesn't break the frame. And we can pick some more of this green, mix it up and place it down. Just like that. And we'll try to give it a smooth long stroke. Come down straight. There you go. And then here, we'll finish this area first. We'll add the green here and then the green here for the bangles. And then here as well we can add the green. We can make this a bit thick. Okay. Anywhere else we may need the green? Let's see. So we can, it's always good to double check before you mix the color or clean the color off. It's a good practice to always check and see if you need to paint this color anywhere else. Okay, so far it doesn't seem we may need to need this. So now what I'll do is I will take white. I'll remove all this color from here. So now we'll paint her clothes. I'll take this white and I'll mix it in this. Try to get a nice light green. Just like that. But now if you look at this green, it looks a little pale. So what we can do to lighten this up is, let me clean my brush first, and I can take a bit of yellow from this, and then if I mix it onto this green, you'll start seeing the green tend to brighten up, or it will look a lot more fresh. Let's make sure we mix it properly. If you feel like your green is still a little dark, you can always add more white to it. I feel this one is good enough for me. And we can start painting this. Just like that. Now you can use your pinky finger as support for your hand while you paint. There you go, like that. And then over here as well. So again, I'll start from this side and then bring it all the way down. Again over here as well. And then start covering up the areas. There you go. Okay. And then we can take this green as well and paint this part here. Again, we'll try to be as careful as we can. You can add that there. And then we can add this green over here, over here. You can always double check. We can replace this with green. There you go, just like that. Okay. Now we'll paint the skin. So we'll start with her first. What we can do is we can take white. Again, I'm making these colors from scratch. It's a good exercise to try and recreate colors with just the primary colors. You can use red, blue, yellow, and white if needed, and black. And with these, try to get whichever color possible. So from this, I'll take a little bit of yellow. I don't want the yellow to be very strong. So I'll mix a little of yellow in here. Just like that. And then we can take a little bit of, maybe even less than that, red. So this will give a nice peach skin color. Just by mixing white, yellow, and red. Okay, that should be good enough. So I'll add this over here. We'll need to be careful in this area. And we can cover this part up. We are leaving the eye because in this painting the eye is left white. And then we can cover the skin here as well. Now again, a reminder, if your paint is getting dry or it's not spreading properly, you can add more water to it. Or if you're running low on paint, you can always add the colors again and mix it up. So I'll add a bit of water here. And then I'll paint this hand as well. And again, if you can paint it in one single and a long stroke, your lines will come out, or your outlines will come out much better. You can bring this part here, cover up these fingers. Just like that. And then this area here as well. Just like that. We can add this and start doing the other hand. So now the skin tones of these two women are different from each other. So once I'm done painting her skin, I will have to mix up colors again to create the other one. I could either use these same colors and mix new colors into this, or I can just have a new set of colors depending on what colors I may need. Okay. Okay, so for this, okay, I think ours is done. Now we can move on to the next one. Now this one seems to be a bit more yellow, or a bit more, yeah, you could say yellowish brown. So I'll take a bit of red and I'll mix it into this. I'll have to make sure I take a lot of color since I have a much larger area to paint in. Take a bit of red, mix it into this. I do not want it too red. Take a bit of water if it's difficult to mix. And if you feel that your color is a little too dark, then we can take more yellow again and mix it into this. That should be a good color. Okay, great. So we can be a bit careful while while coloring or painting the face here. Just like that. And then we can start filling the area up. Again, being careful that your paint doesn't go on an area already completed. But if it does, it is still okay. But you would need to repaint that area. Just like that. And then over here also, I happen to paint red over here by mistake. So we can cover it up by adding this color here. Just like that. While it may look different now, once this dries again, then we can repaint over it until we get this color. Just like that. And then for this arm as well. Just like that. Over here also. We can add this color. Then we can go back to this area here and paint over it again. Just like that. Okay. You can take a little bit of white here. I think we can lighten the skin up a bit. We made it a bit dark. Can mix a bit of water. Since we're adding more paint, we'll need to add a bit more water as well. Just like that. And then here also. And then we can cover this part as well. And what I can do is I can take a bit of this paint off and then paint over here. Okay. Now there are some areas that need a little bit of retouching. Some areas that I may have missed, like this part here. I did not paint the sky, so we can come back and repaint it or fill it up, just like that. Okay. You can add a bit of blue at the bottom as well, right here. Okay. Now we can hold on. And take some paint and paint this part also, and here as well. Okay. And take some yellow, mix it up, and then paint here wherever we feel that yellow is needed to be put. Anywhere else? Okay, that should be good. Now in this yellow, I will take a bit of blue so that I can darken this green here. Maybe add a bit more of yellow. Okay, and then I can fill this area here as well. Okay, now we can create this brown over here. It's one last clothing attire, and then we can start with the smaller details. So if I want to make brown, I'll make some orange first over here, and I'll add a little bit of black into this. Okay, now if you see, black is a very strong color, so I'll take some red again into this corner here. I'll just mix it up entirely over here, and then I can take a bit of yellow also. If you see, it will start turning brown. So you can keep going back and forth, adding red, a yellow, a black, until you feel like you get the right color, and there you go, we have brown. Great. So now I'll do this area here. Just like that. Fill in this brown here. Fill in this brown here. Okay, now we can start with the finer details. So I'll take some red, over here, and then I can add red circle here. There we go. We can start working on the borders now. We can do the corners. We can start by making circles at the corners. And these circles, we'll try to make them as parallel as possible. It's in the same line. There you go, like that. also. And then one here. We can do one in the middle here as well. We can do one here also. So we'll do 3 on each side. So 1, 2, and then the third one here. And then over here as well. And here. Try to keep it in the same line as much as possible. Okay. This red we can add here also. Seems to be missing. Okay. Now we can start adding the other final details. Just cover this area here. Okay. Now I'll switch my brush to a much finer and much pointier brush, so that whatever drawing I may do, they come out as accurate as possible. So now I'll take my black, I'll put a little bit here. I think maybe 2 drops should be okay. Since black is a strong color, we don't need too much of it also. Okay. So now over here, we can draw an outline around these circles. Make sure there's not a lot of paint on your brush. Otherwise your lines will become too thick or your paint may spill. Just like that. There you go. Then over here, and over here. So with this we can take our time to be as precise as possible. Just like that. Okay, great. Now we can do the detailings on this. So we'll try to do it in one motion as perfectly as we can. Just like that. And then over here we can add a bit of this design, and then the same thing here also. Add a bit of this design. Just like that. We'll try using the tip of a brush. We don't want to press it too much. Just like that. Same thing over here. If you feel that your paint is drying, you can always add water to it. Just like that. And then over here, you have to try your best to do it in one stroke. That will give us much cleaner lines. And then here. There you go. Alright, now we can add the details on the inside. Again, we'll give them soft outline, just like that. There. Can add this here, and if you see, it's all starting to come together. So one of the things the artists did was, when they were outlining their artworks, they used to do it in or single stroke or a single motion. Each line had its own single motion, like this, like that, and then over here also, here as well. You can draw a small earring in this part here, cover this area. So over here, we can just fill this up. And fill this in entirely. And then this area here. Now all that's left for this painting is the outline. Bring that there. Straighten this up. Smooth long lines. Just like that. There you go, like that. I'm going to make sure there isn't a lot of paint in your brush, or you may get unnecessarily thick lines. Bring this part down. Okay. Can have this wavy kind of design here. Again, with very gentle pressure. We'll bring this part down. And then here we can add the drapery, which I had painted over. Just like that. This part here. go. This will come down. Like that. Okay. And in this area here as well, we can add these lines here. Now we can start with this one here. Just like that. Perfect. And draw the eye. Over there. Spot here. Just like that. You can do this area here. Just like this. Then we can work on the drapery here. Just like that. Take this all the way back. Take this one as well. And again, smooth long strokes. just like that, and then here as well. Now we can paint this hair. Okay. We can finish up this hand. And then this one. Just like that, long strokes. And if you see, as we give it an outline, the picture starts to pop out a lot more. Over here as well. Okay, now we'll finish off the borders. The borders, I think, okay, we can do this area here. I'll take my yellow. Oh, it seems to be some black color still remaining in my brush. Okay, so I'll take this yellow here. Make sure my brush is not overloaded with paint, and then I can start adding in the designs or the patterns that Cheriyal art is famously known for. And then over here, just like that. So this pattern seems to have a couple of dots and then 2 strokes, and then enough dots to fill the gap, and then again 2 strokes. And here we can add the drapery here as well. Over here also. Sort of like a flower or a floral design. And towards the legs as well. What I can do is I can do the drapery here also, just like that. Okay. And now to top it off, the final area, we can take white and we can start adding the jewelry on the head. Just like that. We can do it with dots. So when you paint or when you shade with dots, that style is known as stippling. Stippling is basically the process where you just keep adding dots in that manner. So here I can draw a line and then I can start putting dots over here. And then another line here. Just like that. And the same with this one as well. We can add the jewelry here. Some jewelry on her forehead. And then on her head as well. Down like that. And take some more white. Put some more dots over there. Then around this we can add some white dots here also. And be careful of getting your hands on wet paint. Just like that. Okay. Okay. So there you go. That was a Cheriyal art workshop. So every day we have our workshops from 12:30 and at 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So for more unique content, you can download the Rooftop app and have a look at some of our books. Like we have the the Artventures of Cheriyal Essentials, which is for beginners, and then we have the Elementary as well, which is for kids, and we have the Expert, the Artventures of Cheriyal Expert, which is meant for people who want to upscale their art. Right? So, for more information, you can have a look at our app, Rooftop app, or you can go to our website. We'll be posting a link down in the comments for you to have a look at our products. Hope you enjoyed this workshop, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.